As we step into the new year, it's the perfect time to reflect on our journey as worship guitarists and set some resolutions to take our ministry to the next level. I know keeping resolutions can be a terribly difficult task, so here are 3 simple ones I'm going to set for myself, which you can also adapt and adopt for yourself. Number 1, focus on your ministry and not others. I'll start with the most important one for the new year. With YouTube, Spotify, and the whole gamut of internet exposure, it's easy to make celebrities out of worship ministers. I'm here to tell you that God isn't interested in molding you to be one of them. He wants to mold a Christ-shaped you. By virtue of my work, I've had the opportunity to connect with fellow worship ministers, one of whom was Josh Yeo. The man is an inspiration to listen to as he bared his heart out, both as a speaker and as a worship leader. Until that morning of meeting Josh Yeo, I had heard him through the internet, and I'll admit, I was envious. Who wouldn't want to experience the same anointing and subsequent success from doing music and ministry the way he's done it? Well, it's one thing to listen to his music over Spotify in the car, and quite a different thing to listen to him live in person. I realized that's not me. I don't relate to God the same way that Josh does, and that's okay. God doesn't want me to put a Josh Yeo template over my ministry. He wants my ministry. Specifically, he wants me to do ministry the way he's made me. I'm learning that even though we receive the same anointing for ministry, it's also about aligning to God's appointing. God is appointed to serve the church in a certain way. I've been appointed to serve too, but to different people to meet different pockets of ministry needs. He can't serve electric guitarists in the same way that I can, so why am I envious of his ministry success? Again, it's about aligning God's anointing with God's appointing. So take this year to be extra sensitive as to where God is placing you to fulfill his ministry. Focus on your ministry and not on others. Number 2, try gear minimalism. Not just another try downsizing your giant pedal board to a small one tip. I'm trying to go gear minimalist in all aspects of my ministry preparation and execution. The best way to illustrate this point is to share what I did when I led worship with The Encounter. I was called to lead worship to a group of Christian brothers and sisters who had gathered for a conference. As the venue was a hotel ballroom, there were several challenges. The sound system and stage setup was limited. The number of inputs, the power available on stage, and equipment like mic stands and music stands, they had none.
Okay, so commercial break, guys. If you guys need wedding band, you can find us or find Justin. Just DM him and you need a 2-piece band, 3-piece band, be on your way. Honestly, I don't know why I'm here. Clovis, you owe me one.
So rather than insist on drawing a power line for something like the Pod Go, which I usually use with my acoustic, I just went without it. Just my Martin divide, a cable into a DI box, and that's it. Volume and tone control from the pickup, no additional processing. My tone felt very naked, so I snuck to the back where the sound system was and dialed in just a hair reverb on the mixer. Which brings us to a tension point. Make it a sub-goal of yours this year to cultivate a good relationship with your sound guys. It's going to pay off tremendously. As for the lack of mic and music stands, here's where I had to MacGyver the situation. Using a combination of clamps and adapters, I could attach my phone to a mic stand, which I use to reference chords and lyrics. And because the phone is so small compared to a music stand, I could have it right up to my face and it didn't block my line of sight with the congregation. So by mostly memorizing my music, I could surreptitiously glance at my phone for lyrics without making it obvious while maintaining a clear view of the congregation. I think this really helps in improving engagement. Have you been in a service where the whole band is looking down at the music stands without ever looking up? It's kind of boring. I'm not saying we should be entertainers and have electrifying stage presence, but I am saying that when you're on the platform, you're who the congregation sees. If you're giving off bored vibes, they're going to catch bored vibes. If you're giving it your all in worship and it shows on your face and body language, the congregation is going to catch that. For a masterclass in visual engagement, I recommend watching any of Jamil Maktibe's IEM mix videos. He's mesmerizing to watch. All of this to say that going gear minimal is going to help you focus less on what's on your feet, how you're sounding, and focus instead on what really matters: leading the congregation in worship. Number 3, broaden your technical horizons. Whether you're a seasoned player or just starting out, there's always room to grow. This year, challenge yourself by picking out one new technique that you've always wanted to learn. For me, I've always had a fascination with math rock and its associated subgenres. With my wrist injuries, learning the two-handed tapping riff seemed impossible, but recently, I've been inspired to try my hand at it. I believe exposure to a new technique will not only broaden my musical arsenal, but also add a fresh dimension to my producing and arranging. At the very least, I'm going to steal these beautiful chords for my own writing. To kickstart this goal, you're going to do a genre dive into the music behind your chosen technique. For math rock, I discovered an educational channel, Let's Talk About Math Rock, and the creator does an amazing job breaking down the techniques needed to play the genre. But more importantly, he cited 50 must-learn beginner riffs as featured on several songs covering the spectrum of math rock. So I created a playlist on Spotify of all the songs he mentioned. The playlist is going to be in constant rotation so I can get a feel for what makes math rock work. Its musical building blocks in rhythmic, melodic, and harmonic choices, and a tonal palette of sonic possibilities on the guitar. I could take it one step further to make a YouTube playlist of performance videos, but that could backfire in making me so demoralized from watching these amazing players. And those are my 3 goals for this year. How about you? What goals are you setting for yourself? Share them in the comments, perhaps we can all be inspired. New for this year, I'm also launching the gift section of my Buy Me a Coffee page. I've been receiving requests to review and produce presets for some pieces of gear that I don't have. Unless these companies provide me with the gear as part of a sponsored review, I'll have to spend out of pocket. I have a family to provide for and bills need to be paid, so I don't have the excess disposable income to undertake every gear request. If you directly support the channel via the gift section, I'll be able to serve these requests faster. Furthermore, it's a way for me to be transparent about the equipment I'll need to replace or additional purchases I'll need for my family. So if you feel led to give, this is a practical way to help me and this channel, other than to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon, which you totally should do. This video is going to be a part of my Conversations playlist where I discuss the intersections of worship, theology, and popular culture. If you like this video, I have one you can check out about gear acquisition syndrome. See you there.